Well, good morning, Noodlers. This is Sell a House Wholesale Real Estate Training number 119 on a beautiful Wednesday, May 20th, 2015. And I'm just looking back here to see kind of what we talked about. I'd like to carry on the torch with where we were going there. Attitude, strong session. We talked about our new lingo. Hope you guys are catching on with that. Let's see here. Oh yeah, we talked about the words. We talked about goals. Never too late to start a beginning. You know, I think I read through, I was talking about the magic of thinking big. And I was also, I was looking at, they talk about in here, by the way, magic of thinking big. That's create the 10-year me. The Magic of Thinking Big, David Schwartz, PhD. Very good book. As I was saying, this is, I think this is a really great introduction for people who aren't aware of, you know, self-development and personal growth and, you know, the universal truths and, you know, all of these sorts of things that really are the keys to success in anything in this life. So I think this is a really good book as an introductory book for somebody who doesn't know anything about all that stuff to start with in reading this Magic of Thinking Big book. It's got a real good human element to it that people can really relate to and bring themselves, put themselves into the positions of some of the stories he's talking about in here, some of the people that he talks about, and really sort of start bringing home the ideas of, you know, having the definite major purpose and all that. I think this would be a really good, a lot of people might start out with, you know, Think and Grow Rich or something like that, and maybe get a little turned off to it because that really is kind of more of a guideline. That's more of a step-by-step, do this, do this, do this, do this kind of a book. This one's a little bit more sort of, there is some like do this stuff in here, but it's a little more, it's a little looser, I think. Doesn't have quite the parameters of that. But one thing towards the end that he has is the image of me 10 years from now, which I just said, my little note here, create the 10-year me, right? Put that back so I don't forget. 10, you know, you can't get anywhere if you don't know where you're going. That's the whole thing. And Napoleon Hill talks a lot about drifters in this world. And, you know, drifters being the kind of people who just have no idea where they're going. They're just going through life day by day, letting life happen to them. They have no plan of action. They have no course of direction. They don't have any way whatsoever to sort of make things happen in their life. They just go along and everything sort of happens to them. And these are the, you know, masses of the planet. These are where you'll find 80% of the population really are drifters. And this whole idea of creating the 10-year me, an image of me 10 years from now, that's really step one right there to driving yourself away from being a drifter. Hello, we're on a hangout.
What's that?
I said, hello, we're on a hangout.
What hangout are we on?
The real estate hangout.
I'm not on it, am I?
No, you're on it now on the phone.
I'm waiting for my invite.
Oh, well, I sent it. I don't know what the hell happened. I'm sending another one there. There you go. Bye. So anyway, to, you know, sort of, you got to have something to, out there, and going 10 years out in front of you, you might not be able to see 10 years out in front of you, but the problem with going out just like next year is you can see too close to today. And to go a year ahead and say, I'm going to have all these big things, it won't be believable to you. You know, you can't find yourself believing that you can actually achieve these kinds of things in just 1 year's time. So by going 10 years out, you can create the biggest, best you that your imagination can come up with, and it's 10 years away. So why can't you believe it? A lot can happen in 10 years, right? So you can get this powerful long distance vision of you 10 years from now in all this magical greatness. And just by having that, even though at first you may look at this stuff and go, that's totally ridiculously outrageous. There's no way I'll ever, own a spaceship. Hey, maybe you will in 10 years. I don't know. Maybe we all will. But you can have the wildest, craziest dream set 10 years ahead, but it hones in your directional focus on something, anything, as wild and crazy as it might be. It gives you the opportunity to say, that's where I want to go, and just by doing that, your mind then sort of starts bringing into focus things that are going to help you get there. And the next thing you know, if you keep considering, this whole 10-year wild and crazy plan, the next thing you know, a year down the road, you're like, you know what? Maybe that wild and crazy plan isn't so wild and crazy after all. It seems like I'm actually making steps towards that. Maybe it's possible I could get there someday. And then maybe after 2 years, you're like, this is really crazy. All of a sudden, I'm really actually moving in that direction, and I can see how this actually can possibly happen. And maybe after 3 years, you're just like, insane. Look at this. This is actually going to happen. I'm going to make this happen. So there's a slow process. Everything is step by step. Nothing happens immediately. Everything happens, incrementally, one step at a time, day by day, all those things. But when you're too focused on what's happening right now, and you don't get something out there ahead of you that you can turn your focus to, what's happening right now will never change, because that's what you're focusing on. Everything that is will always be, because you can't see the bigger picture down the road. For an example, I know somebody who wants to go on, a young person who wants to go on a missionary thing, and which is a great thing to do, but I think maybe they started a little too late. It's happening a little too soon, a little too quickly. Obviously, there's costs involved with this, and so they have to do some fundraising or whatever, and get people to sponsor them, so to speak. And I just don't think there was enough time to make it happen. Now, the question within that is, will this person stick to it, or will they lose their dream? You know what I mean? They only had, say, 2 months to make it all happen. They only had 2 months to make it all happen, and it didn't happen. So are they going to be like, oh, well, that's never going to happen. I guess I was wrong, on to something else. Or are they going to hold on to their dream? That is really what I want to do, and I'm going to stay focused on that, and whatever it takes, now I'm going to make sure that I get there. It didn't happen now. I didn't give myself enough time. Something I didn't know. Whatever the case might be, sticking to it, stick-to-itiveness. Hey, maybe it doesn't even happen the next round. Maybe, I don't know how often they send out, groups, but, say it's every 6 months, and maybe even the next 6 months, it still doesn't happen. And the next 6 months, it still doesn't happen. Are you going to give up? Are you going to quit? Are you going to keep going? That's what it all comes down to. Are you going to quit? Are you going to give up? Are you going to keep going? Because if you keep going and you keep your eye on the prize, you'll have it. And as I talked about, with the big, crazy 10-year dream, make it big, make it wild, make it crazy. And if you don't get there, there's a saying that says, shoot for the stars and land on the moon. Well, there you go. If you shoot for the stars with your big, wild, crazy dream and you don't quite get there, it's not really going to matter, because you're going to be someplace better than where you are now immensely better than where you are now 10 years from now because you focused on it. So today, I really just want to talk about your focus. Are you a focused person? Do you put your mind onto something and fix it upon that something and keep it there? Because most people don't. Most people are, ooh, shiny object, ooh, shiny object, ooh. We're like freaking fish in the river with a bunch of fishermen throwing their lures in there, and we don't know which one to bite because there's too many of them, or we're biting them all, and we keep going getting pulled to the shore, getting pulled to the shore and then thrown back in, and then we bite another one because we don't learn. Sticking to it is really what it's all about. If you want something, you just have to believe that you can have it and go get it. And know from the beginning, it's not going to be easy. It's not just going to come to you. I'm not going to get rich quick. There is no get rich quick. There is no overnight sensation. There is no, immediate success. None of those things happen to any. I mean, to a very rare few. Are you the one in a million that it's going to happen to? And is that what you're going to bank your life upon? Being that one in a million? Or are you going to be the guy that goes out there, or gal, that goes out there and says, you know what, that's what I want. That's what I'm going to set my focus upon. That's what I'm going to go get. And year after year after year, go and get it. And eventually, like I said, you may not get there. If you do get there, fantastic. If maybe you don't have a big, wildly crazy dream. Maybe you've got, just a nice sized dream that actually sort of makes sense and truly is 100% easily achievable over the course of 10 years. But you can go out there, and the thing is you get excited about taking the steps. You take one step and you're like, oh, wow, look at that. That was cool. Take another step and you're like, wow, did it again. And another, wow, keeps happening. And another one. And as you start taking these steps, each step by step by step, you start getting a little more excited about it. You start getting a little more enthralled with it. You start getting a little more enthusiastic about actually being able to get where you want to go, because each time you make this step, and the next thing you know, with all this enthusiasm and excitement built up with taking these little steps, now suddenly you're having fun trying to get there. Along the way, some point in time, it goes from, I got to work at this, I got to work at this, I got to work at this day in and day out if I'm going to get there. Then all of a sudden, you're just like, I don't have to work at this. I want to do this. This is fun. This is what I'm here for, is to get there. And when you realize that the journey, and they always say the journey is more important than the destination. And in life, it really, really is. The journey itself is way more important than the destination. Sure, we'd all love to get there, but what are you going to do when you get there? you know, that's where the whole retirement thing comes in. I mean, do you really want to just strive your whole life to just get there? Then once you're there, okay, that's it. I got here. Now I can retire. I'm done. What are you going to do? I mean, it's almost better never to get there, so that you've always got something to do. You've always got more to learn. You've always got a room to grow and vitality to keep yourself young and your mind sharp. So, you can look at it a couple of different ways there. Do I want to actually get there and, then retire and do what? Do nothing. And, most people that retire, that's exactly what they do. Retirement equals, dead. And that's what most people do when they don't have, something exhilarating and a passion in their life that keeps them going beyond having achieved the dream. I mean, there's one thing to achieve the dream, and then you can create a new dream that expands upon, hey, I made it here. Now I can expand upon this and make it even bigger and better. Or you can say, hey, I made it here. Now I'm done. I'm sitting in the easy chair. Bring me a beer and the remote control. That's the person who's going to die. The other person is going to continue living on a young, vibrant life. So it's just all about focus. It's all about knowing where you want to go. It's really, I mean, we talked about on our other hangout here this morning for our network marketing business, the basics. It all comes back down to the basics. Becoming aware, applying, sort of, having to think about applying, being able to apply without really having to think about it, and then just, everything being sort of automatic. So it all comes down to going back to the basics on everything here, and just getting the fact that focusing upon what you want, start with number one thing, determining what you want, prior one thing, the zero thing. You have to know what you want. I don't know. I can't stress this point enough. I can't drive this point home enough. If you go out and you ask 100 people, what do you want? You get some crazy answers. Oh yeah, I want a new refrigerator. I want a new car. I want a bigger house. I want a better job. But when you get down into it, okay, you want a better job. Well, what do you want? Well, I mean, I don't like my job now. I get that. You don't like your job now. You want a better job. But what do you want? People don't know what they want. And if you don't know what you want, guess what you're going to get? Unknown stuff. If you know what you want, that's what this all comes down to. Know what you want. Know exactly what you want. Be clear about exactly what you want, and hold your focus upon that day in and day out. And things will start coming into your life that are going to direct you towards that. What you want right now might be something over here, and you might be going this way. And guess what? If you say, this is what I want, this is where I want to go, and right now you're headed this direction, the next thing you know, you'll be making a left turn. You won't know why, but you'll make a left turn. And then all of a sudden you'll make another left turn. You still won't know why, but you'll be making a left turn. And this is where you start getting a little excited and interested. And you're going, oh, it feels like I'm sort of heading the direction I want to go. Then you make another left turn, and now you're pointed at it. And that's when you're all of a sudden like, whoa, wait a second. I see now where it is that I need to go. And that's sort of when that excitement level comes in, that the journey begins. Right now, like I said, you want to go here and you're not heading in that direction at all. You're drifting out here somewhere, going who knows where. And when you get that focus upon knowing that's where I want to be, that's where I want to go, that's when all of a sudden, the universe will start directing you in that direction. And these are the steps. See, this is the hard part. This is where people give up. This is where people don't focus on the basics, and they think that this is a bunch of hooey, and they go back to what they know is safe and simple, which is nothingness. And because nothingness is easy, and so they go back to doing that, and they give up on their dream because it doesn't make any sense. I don't see how I can get there. Don't worry about seeing how you can get there. Don't ever think about the how. Don't worry about the how. The how will happen, and just know that it's coming. And the next thing you know, you'll turn that final corner, and all of a sudden the lights will come on, and you'll go, whoa, it's down this road right here where I want to go. Now I know where I'm at. But you have to get on track before you can go down the track. And right now, most people aren't on track because they don't know what they want. I challenge you. Next time you're talking to your friends, your buddies, your coworkers, whatever, ask them, so what do you want, Joe? Well, what do you mean, what do I want? What do you want? What do you want from this life? Oh, well, I want to make a lot of money and this, that, and the other thing, and really dig into it. And I'll bet you find out that bottom line is they really have no clue, no idea what it is that they really want. They have no idea about, what they want in their work. They have no idea about what they want in their home life, their family life, and they have no idea what they really want in their social life. So it's do that. That's a challenge for you. Just, it's conversation. Nobody will ever know you're doing it. You're just talking about them, asking them some questions, digging in. A lot of people actually will even, you'll actually find a lot of people will shy away from, like, what businesses are yours, what I want to do, because they're that closed off to, or they've shut their dream into such a tight little steel box that they can't even imagine letting it out and thinking about it, let alone, sharing it with somebody else. And you'll actually find a lot of people that'll just shut down away from this and won't want to go down this line of questioning that you're talking about, because they're that closed up, they're that closed-minded to, they've locked away their dreams forever and refuse to look at them. That's a scary, sad thing when you run across these people. But the people that are willing to open up and want to talk about it and want to remember their dreams and want to bring them to life, you'll find they don't know what they are. They have no clue. They're not tuned in to what they really, truly want. So again, back to the basics. Number one thing, clarity. You have to know what you want. You have to know where you want to go. You have to know who you want to become. What do you want to be? What do you want to have, be, and do? Those three things right there. You have to know that. Until you know exactly what that is, you're never going to get there. You're going to be drifting around going, this is what I want, but I'm not going to do anything about it because that's just what I want, And how do you focus in on this? You take one of these, and you take one of these, and you sit down. I would suggest go get one of these. Go to page 256. Is that what I'm at? 255. And create the 10-year you. And you know what? Create it now. It's going to be hard. You're going to be like, wow, I never thought about this stuff. It doesn't really click in my mind thinking this way. It doesn't work. Write it down now. Come back to it in 2 weeks. Do it again. Rewrite it. Come back to it every 2 weeks. Rewrite it. Completely rewrite it. Scratch out the old one and completely write a brand new one. Get yourself a whole notebook like this. Big old notebook. Start on page 1, the 10-year me. Even if you got to do this for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, every 2 weeks, do it every week. Do it every week if you want. Do it every day. If you want to speed things up, do it more often, obviously. But every time you come back and do this, you'll be getting clarity. You'll be coming back more and more going, okay, this makes a little more sense now. What income level do I want to attain? All right, well, actually, you know what? I just said before, yesterday I said I just want to have millions of dollars. Well, how many millions of dollars do I really want to have? You know what I mean? So maybe I can hone that in a little bit, or maybe, you know what? Maybe I don't think a million's enough. Maybe I want to have $1 billion. Maybe I want to have $365 million. Maybe I want to have, maybe I just want to have $1 million. Whatever it is, the more you do this, the more you'll focus in, the more you'll hone in, the more you'll refine it, the more you'll have actual clarity, the more you'll pick it up one day and you go, you know what? That's exactly what I want to be. That's exactly what I want to have. And that's exactly what I want to do 10 years from now. There it is. I got clarity. Basic number 1. I'm moving on. Oh, wow. And then you know what? You might look up and go, actually, I didn't even realize it, but the whole time I was doing this, I sort of got focused and on track to achieving it. Wow. You might not even realize it happened. But you got to start with the plan. You got to start with the clarity. You cannot have, be, or do anything in this world if you do not know what you want to have, be, and do. Bottom line. With that, I'm done. I'm out. If you want to be a property noodler, if you want to have the opportunity to purchase wholesale real estate and flip it and make lots of money, I never put my dealio up. What a bummer. I thought it was supposed to be automatic. But anyway, there it is. I guess I got to open it to make it automatic. All right. But yeah, if you want to be a property noodler, if you want to be a property noodler, if you want to be a real estate wholesaler, successful real estate investor, wholesaling is a great start to get into real estate because it's so simple. It does not take any of your own money. I mean, you might end up putting some up, but you don't necessarily have to. And you can make large chunks of money very, very quickly, which can, obviously change a lot of things in your life. You large chunk of money might be able to pay off all that debt that's got you stressed out. Once that's all done, boom, next large chunk of money. Wow, I can actually get a little bit ahead here. Maybe I could sell that junker car I got, get me something that won't be smogging everybody out at the intersection. Whatever it is, you can make a few changes in your life, and the next thing you know, you can start building some wealth with that money if you do things the right way. Or you could just go out there and blow it all and end up, chasing your tail, basically, and one day have nothing, just like you have now. But if you want to be a property noodler, if you want to have the opportunity to make large chunks of money, so let's have, and you want to be successful, right there, propertynoodlers@gmail.com. Send us an email and get on our team, and we'll show you exactly how this is done. I don't know. I mean, yeah, yes, we're going to show you. I mean, you're going to learn. There's no question about it. But that's really not what the Noodler program is all about. It's not all about showing you and saying, there you go, I showed you. Now good luck going out and doing it. No, it's really all about, you know what, here, start with this, just do that, and you'll end up making a little bit of money. Now that you've made a little bit of money, you see what way that is. Here, do this and this and this, and we build it that way. It's all about putting money in your pocket first. So anyway, O universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom, with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever end I might desire, which I happen to know exactly what that end is. And you need to know it too. All right, everybody, see you back here on Freedom Friday.